Warm blessings. Master Shaman Palai Chi here today. I wanted to talk to you guys about life after death and the grieving process that goes with that. But before I do that, I know all of you have your own grieving styles or grieving ways and how you grieve for a person that has just passed. If you have had someone that has just passed within the last couple of weeks or couple of months here within this pandemic, I know it's been very hard. If you've also had someone that has passed and gone and crossed over within the last couple of years, or even 10 years ago, you know exactly what I will be talking about. For some of you, your grieving process or your grieving way is going to be different from the other people that you've known or that has known you. But grieving, I wanted to say that grieving, everybody has their own way of how to deal with grieving. But I wanted to come out and talk to you guys about how grieving and the more that you grieve doesn't really release to forget the person or to get over the person. Yes, it's a natural part of the human being to grieve and then to get over them with that grieving. However, the more that you cry and or grieve for the person, it stops the transcending process. Meaning that the more that your thoughts are calling out to them, I wish they wouldn't have gone. Other kind of thoughts are something like, why did this happen to him? And you're wishing and hoping that that person would be back. However, the more that you wish that in your thoughts, the harder it is for that spirit that has left its vessel to transcend and to get through the transcending process. The spirit of the vessel kind of stays together in the soul, in the vessel. However, when this process of transcending happens, it's really left behind one spirit of the soul, and that is the one that you're keeping behind if you continue to grieve even further or more than you need to. There is going to be a natural grieving, crying, and trying to cope with the person that has left your life. However, to continue to grieve without coming to an understanding of why that happened, of why the situation occurred, and why the person had to go if it's their time or if it's not their time. If you want to get over the grieving process, then you have to come to an understanding or want to come to an understanding and willing to heal during the grieving process. If you are not healing during this grieving process and not wanting to understand really why things happened the way they did, why the person had to leave, and where the person is at this point in time, if you're not willing to come to an understanding of that, it is going to be very hard, very difficult for this spirit of its soul, the spirit of its soul, of its vessel, to be able to transcend and get through this transcending process. It actually holds their spirit back, the one that is left behind. And I will talk to you guys in a different video in regards to the process of the spirit or the soul leaving the vessel. But here, in order to allow this process to happen smoothly, you need to stop the grieving and to, yes, you will tear, yes, you will cry, because it's a different, it's a change, it's a death of something, moving on to a renewal of something. And in this process, in order to continue with your life and to allow this spirit of the soul of that person that has just transcended to be able to move on in their process to the next process that they need to go into, you'll need to stop the grieving. Sometimes this grieving also leads to anxiety of your own life. It also leads to depression of your own life or of your own self. And that is the part that's going to make your life harder or more difficult to move on. It will also leave you with a lot of regrets or resentments, types of thoughts inside of your mind that you cannot sort of get out of. It becomes then a way or a habit of life to live in, and it's almost kind of like you can't get yourself out of this anxiety or depression because of this death that has occurred and the situation that has occurred within your life. So then it's harder for you to move on as a person, it's harder for you to grow as a person, and it's harder for you to get into the next phase of your life cycle if you continue to have this grieving process and draw it out. On the other hand, with the crossed over, the spirit that has crossed over, it's allowing the spirit to continue to stay in its middle area. And when I say the middle area, in a shamanic aspect, we have the lower, the middle, and the higher. And what that means is that we've got middle world, high world or upper world, and then lower world. And those are the main categories of what we work with when we work with spirits. And if you're grieving and you continue to draw it out and not stopping yourself and saying, what can I understand from this death? What can I understand from this change that has happened in my life? And why did it happen to me at this specific time in my life and for the person that has left? The spirit that transcended, why did that spirit have to transcend at this time? If you can stop yourself sooner than later from grieving beyond what is necessary or what is of your nature, if you can stop yourself and get healing to understand the reason why it happened when it did, why it happened to you, why it happened to the person in their that time in their life, and if it was a destiny of the person or if it was a distraction for that person, if it was a distractive death. Sometimes we go through understanding that it was, and making up in our minds that it was a distraction type of death, that it was not their time and they are not ready to go. And then there's other times when we come to an understanding or a realization, if we go and be able to find out the responses or the answers through the spirits that we work with, or that you are drawn to find this answer for. If you find out that the answer is yes, it was their destiny to go, it was their time to go, then you can stop grieving faster. You can stop the grieving faster and allow the transcending process to happen in a more smooth way. No matter what you do, that spirit of the soul that you've known has already left, has already gone, and there's nothing that you can do about it after the death. But what you can do is to allow yourself to understand, to heal from it, and to heal from going through it with that person that is now a spirit that is gone. So remember that the more grieving that you do, the less and further on the journey of transcension, of transcending, that the spirit that is left from the body can transcend to where they need to go. And that means there's a lag in its time between you and or this spirit that has left its body, that is transcended and crossed over. It is this timing that then where you are in your life, there is also a stoppage or a lack or a missing piece that you're going to have to wait to find in the future. So there is a lag in everything that you do, as in your success in career. If you are the one, in fact, mostly that is grieving more and then wanting to understand less. So then you're stuck in this habit, in the habit of grieving, and then anxiety, and then depression. And then what hits you is the thought of all this negative thinking of why did it have to happen this way, or why couldn't it have anything stop it from happening. The more that you can think about that, and the more that you are in that, your success, your cycle of life is also lagged as well. And it's personally happening to you if you don't wake up and pay attention to what are all the things that are happening around you, your health, your career, your abundance coming in, everything else, your relationship. It's lagging everything in the 5 pillars, the 5 areas of your life that could happen better to you if you had stopped grieving. I'm not saying that grieving is a bad thing. It is a nature of the humankind. Yes, you will need to be grieving. You will be grieving whether you like it or not. However, there is a point in time that needs to stop because you need healing. And to prevent this lag of transcending or lag of your success in your life cycle, and for that to move on, it is a part of you that needs to be willing to seek the help, to seek the healing. And whether that's sought through you and the universe alone, that is up to you. Whether that is sought from somebody giving you a suggestion to go seek someone out, and you actually go and take the action to do it, that is up to you as well. Everything is upon your free will. And yes, you understand that. But what I'm trying to say is also understand that the one that has crossed over is not going to come back. And it is for you to know and understand that, for you to make it easier for that person, that spirit of his soul or her soul to transcend easier, is to let that happen, is to let it go. And what does let it go mean? It means understanding why it happened, what happened to it, and where they are now. This is Master Shaman Palai Chi, and I hope that you are understanding this message today. And this is on life after death. I will be doing some more videos in regards to life after death, so stick with me here. Like and subscribe for more videos to come. Warm blessings. Bye-bye.